ठीक है. Okay. 1.2.183. There is a first paragraph, chota paragraph. Now, aspects of devotional service. This is from chapter 6, 47 to 53. This we have already done. In the mode of servitorship, all those things. Again, it is repeated. The second verse will be 184. Second paragraph is 184, 185, and uh, then 186, 187. Third and fourth. So we have this whole paragraph 183 to 187. How to serve in servitorship? Because we have 5 types of rasas: Shantaras, Dasyaras. Shantaras we are not speaking at all. Now it is starting from Dasyaras. Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. First is Shantaras, where you don't have direct any. Shantaras means you don't know that Lord is a person. There is no personal relationship. Simple. अथ दास्यं दास्यं कर्मार्पणं तस्य कैङ्कर्यमपि सर्वथा. So dasyam is what? It is defined as offering the results, prescribed duties, and acting as a menial servant. The dasya is distinct from dasya's sthai bhava and dasya rasa that appears after sadhana bhakti, though related. So this is different from the dasya sthai bhava and dasya rasa which is appearing after sadhana bhakti. So what is given here is dasya sthai bhav, where Hanuman is sthai bhav. It is always his das. Now this dasya rasa what we are speaking is atha dasya. After doing sadhana, a person attains that bhava, that sadhana, that dasya bhav, acting as a menial servant. How it can happen? Jiva Goswami writes about it. Jiva Goswami says, when you do karmarpanam, that means whatever we earn, in that whatever we can offer, varnashrama actions, this is known as dasya bhav. We are not talking about dasya sthai bhav. Dasya sthai bhav means that is eternal relationship what we have. We are not talking about it. Everyone is eternally servant of Krishna. That is for true. Everyone is servant of Krishna. That is sthai bhava of everyone. But then how to invoke that sthai bhava? How we can know that I am eternally servant of Krishna? Because we try to become Maya Das. We don't want to become Krishna Das. But our sthai bhava is we are always servant of Krishna, like Hanuman is always servant of Lord. But that sthai bhava can be understood only when we do sadhana bhakti in a proper way. That sadhana bhakti can be understood when we perform the varnashrama properly. Varnashrama achrataha purshena parapuman. Atha, varnashrama achrataha purushena parapuman. I see that verse, why suddenly I forgot it. Ah, Varnashrama achrataha purushena parapuman. Vishnu aradhyate pantah nane tattoshan karna. Vishnu aradhana. That is the purpose of varnashrama. Another purpose has been given. अथ पुंबे द्विजश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागश स्वनिष्ठित धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर हरितोषणम. Haritoshanam and Vishnu Aradhana. These are the two reasons why a person should perform Varnashrama. And what is Varnashrama? Whatever Varnan, whatever ashrama we are. Now somebody is a brahmachari, somebody is a grahastha, somebody is a vanaprasthi, somebody is a sannyasi. What is the purpose? Haritoshanam, to satisfy Hari. What is the purpose? Vishnu Aradhanam. Understood, na? What is the purpose of Varna? Varna means if you are a Brahmana, you have certain prescribed duties. If you are Kshatriya, if you are Vaishya, if you are Shudra, everybody has a prescribed duties and they get some results out of it. When you perform duty, naturally you get the result. You are offering that karma arpanam. By doing that, one understands his dasya bhava. And slowly, the sthai bhava is understood. But now what is spoken here is acting as a menial servant. You are acting, though you are, but you have forgotten. So you are acting. Everyone is a servant, but we have forgotten. That is why we are not interested in chanting the holy name. We are not interested in taking up the Krishna consciousness properly. Why? because we are too adamant. That is why we suffer. Prabhupada says that we are so adamant. But then, if a person just follows what Acharya says, hearing, chanting, this should be our goal of life. This should be our goal of life. What is the purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita? What is the purpose of doing our Bhakti Shastri? This is the goal of life. We have to hear and chant. The more we hear, the more we chant, the more we can arouse our sthai bhav. Now, first act at least. First act as a servant. Then slowly, after acting, we come to our real position. Okay? Janmantara sahasreshu yasya syad buddhir tarshi. Idrishi. Dasoham Vasudevasya Sarvan Lokansa Uddhare. So one who has an attitude of being the servant of Vasudev for thousands of births can deliver all people. That means to deliver everyone for 1,000 births, one has to be servant of Vasudev. That means one should have that attitude. Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanvan Man Prapatate. Vasudeva Sarvamiti sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Very difficult to get such Mahatma. Only that Mahatma can deliver everyone. That means one who is really delivering everyone, like Srila Prabhupada has delivered so many thousands and lakhs and crores. That means for 1,000 lifetimes. And sometimes it is said Krishna sends his own representative. Okay. Now Sridham Vipra in the Bhagavatam says Sridhama. Sridhama says, life after life, may I love, friendship, sympathy, and service. May I have that love for Krishna. Okay. The Sridhar Swami says, being in the position of a servant. This servant service as kainkariam means to perform actions of service with respect for the authority of Lord. There is no difference between this dasya and paricharya dasya. Service, another anga in its pure form. Anyhow. So dasya, paricharya, both are actually same in one sense. When you say paricharya, it is one of the anga in the pure devotional service. When I say I am servant of Lord, I should act also like a servant. I cannot be master. I have to offer whatever the results I get. You should offer to Krishna. Simple. So Aditya, read 1 minute. I'll finish off 184 also. 184, 185, 186, 187. Tatra adyam yatha skande tasmin samarpitam karma swabhavikam apishvare bhaved bhagavato dharmas tatkarma kim utarpitam. So first type, what we do, we offer our prescribed duties. It is given in the Skanda Purana. Because to understand I am servant first, what I should do? I should offer my prescribed duties. Prescribed duties, according to one's nature, offered to the Lord becomes Bhagavad Dharma. What to speak then of actions of bhakti to the Lord alone? First, offer the prescribed duty to Lord. And then, directly serving Lord, actions of bhakti, like offering the lamb, offering the incense, or the dhupa, deepa, then flowers, then jala, then you have cloth, then chamara, then peacock feather, all these things come, na? This is anyhow part of bhakti, actions in bhakti. But what about offering the prescribed duty only? I earn something, I keep something for the maintenance, something for the family, and I offer it to Lord. Actually, there are very few who do donations in respect to whatever Shastras say. It is very clearly said, 25%. If I have a high class devotee, 50% he offers to the Lord. At least not that much, 25%. Not that much, also 10%. Hardly people they want to give. That is why they suffer more. Because some part comes as Lakshmi. If you don't give it to the missionary activity, if you don't use it in Krishna's service, the same money becomes like a material maya, which will actually snatch away even whatever we have. It will go in another form, maybe in the doctor, maybe in the It goes in other form. Whatever you earn, sincerely, if you do this, we never suffer. You know Madhava brand? Madhava's band, they sing Nirdosh. They're all my students. I used to take class for them. And they were not earning much. What? Just somebody used to call them to sing. And I just told them this thing. Just give 50%. So they were initiated. I told you should just give 50%. And they just realized that. And today also they say, Mataji, we did this. And today see we are earning so much. It happens. Krishna, because Lakshmi comes only when she sees that it is used for her for Krishna's purpose. The same Lakshmi becomes Mayadev. She removes even whatever you have. That is why people suffer. They suffer because they don't have that giving attitude, sacrifice attitude. In the olden times, people used to do that. When they used to eat, before eating, they used to call some guests, they used to give to the cows, they used to give to the dogs, everything they used to take care of. But nowadays, people don't do what they are getting. They just think, okay, we'll save, we will save. And where it goes? In hospitals. Just goes in hospitals. So it is why that is why it is said here. One should offer the prescribed beauty. Everywhere the Shastras speak this. 185. Karma swabhavikam bhadram bhadram japa dhyanarchanadi cha itidam dvidham Krishne Vaishnave dasyamarpitam. Now, how to offer the Varna, the two categories of this Varnashrama Dasya offered by the Vaishnava to Krishna, offering the auspicious among the prescribed actions according to one's nature, and offering only actions as japa, meditation, deity worship. Now, in this also now two categories. You are only offering whatever is good to Lord. Auspicious things you are offering the auspicious among both. And then offering japa, meditation, and deity worship. That means you are giving time. One is you are giving time for your meditation, japa. You ask how many rounds you're chanting. You say, I don't have time. That also we are not able to do. Leave aside giving our whatever we are earning. Even chanting is not done properly. And just imagine why Maya will not beat us. Maya beats the devotees more if they are not doing properly. Simple. Like if a policeman steals, he gets more punishment because he knows he should not do that. And if a thief steals, he gets little less punishment because he's bound to do that. A policeman should not do it. Now, Varnashrama is followed by every devotee also. They are also in the some Varna and some Ashrama. Now, if we don't give enough time also, meditation, chanting, deity worship, that also we don't give. Leave aside giving charity, then why beatings will not come? That is why many devotees, they suffer. They suffer. And afterwards they say, why we are suffering? This is the reason. Because we don't offer to Krishna. So auspiciousness is not bought in our life. When Krishna is giving auspiciousness, we don't want to bring auspiciousness. Then what is the result? What will be the result? Inauspiciousness. And inauspiciousness is what? Sufferings. You see, there are people who are practically for so many years, but they are not following. But there are ones who come very new and they take up devotion service very sincerely, seriously. They get elevated. So this is what is given here. Among those actions prescribed by that identity, only those that are auspicious are awarded, are offered to Lord, and not others, such as cleaning oneself with earth after passing nature. Will you offer that to Lord? We are performing so many duties. We go to toilet. Are we going to offer that? We take bath. Are we going to offer that? So in our day-to-day schedule, we do so many actions. What action should be given to Krishna? Yes, japa, tapa, then making cooking for Lord, that time. When you go to office, that time, that consciousness. When you bring something from shop, that consciousness. When I get a salary, I keep it aside, that consciousness. I cannot offer passing urine and passing stool. That actions I cannot offer. Though in Varnashrama, all those actions come. I sleep. Will you offer the sleep to Lord? I can do it, provided I sleep for waking up early in the morning and chanting the holy name. Then it is Lord's responsibility to wake you up. So that action where completely I am just thinking about Lord, then I can offer that auspiciousness to Lord. Okay. So this is known as dasya. I am servant now. I should know what I should give. Servant cannot give dirty things. Servant will give only good things, isn't it? Next, 186. Mrudu shraddhasya कथिता स्वल्प कर्माधिकारिता कर्माधिकारिता तदर्पितं हरौ दास्यम् इति कैश्चित् udीर्यते. Some persons say that this offering of duties by a person with weak faith in bhakti and a slight qualification for prescribed duties is called dasya. So what is another meaning of dasya? He is giving, but he is not having that faith. Okay, giving. Still that Atma Samarpanam has not come. Dasya is the first stage. No? So he will do, but with a weak faith he is doing, and little bit qualification he has in performing prescribed duties. G. Goswami writes, actually japa and meditation are considered angas of pure devotion, pure bhakti, even without offering them after performance. However, offering the auspicious items among the prescribed duties are not angas of bhakti. Therefore, the author does not approve the first type of offering mentioned in the previous verse. He says, whatever we are performing whole day, I don't consider, now Jiva Goswami says, I don't consider that to be anga of bhakti. In yours is not there also. In 64 items, you don't have that. What you have is japa. What you have is meditation. Because what a person gives, it is not considered as an anga of dasya because he is having less faith. You ask him to give something, he will give slowly something, small thing. So that type of faith is still not there in the dasya bhav. Okay. Okay. So many commentaries are there. We will do till here. And then 187. द्वितीयं यथा नारदीय इह यस्य हरेर्दास्य कर्मणा मनसा गिरा निखिलाशपि अवस्थासु जीवन मुक्तसु उच्यते. So you can memorize this verse. A very beautiful verse. Iha yasya haredasya. You will find this verse in Nectar of Instruction also. We have studied this verse. Iha yasya haredasya. In this lifetime itself become Haridas. Just serve Lord with all actions, mind, words. Then within this lifetime itself, Jivan Mukta sa uchyate. A person is completely liberated. So here ends about Dasya. Aditya, read all the verses up till 187 and then you can read directly the translation given by Srila Prabhupada.
Okay. 1.2.183 अथ दास्यं कर्मार्पणं तस्य कैङ्कर्यम् अपि सर्वथा. Translation: Acting as a servant, verse 87. Dasyam is defined as offering the results of prescribed duties and acting as a menial servant of the Lord. 1.2.184 आद्यं यथा स्कान्दे तस्मिन् समर्पितं कर्म स्वाभाविकम् अपीश्वरे भवेद् भागवतो धर्म तत्कर्म उतार्पितम्. Translation: The first type, offering prescribed duties, is described in the Skanda Puran. Prescribed duties, according to one's nature, offered to that Lord become Bhagavad Dharma. What to speak then of actions of bhakti dedicated to the Lord alone? 2.185 Swabhavikam Bhadram Japa Dhyanarchanadi cha Itidam Dvividham Krishne Vaishnave Dasyamarpitam. Translation: There are two categories of these varnas from Dasyam offered by the Vaishnavas to Krishna, offering the auspicious among the prescribed actions according to one's nature, and offering only actions such as japa, meditation, and deity worship. 1.2.186 Mrudu श्रद्धस्य कथिता स्वल्पा कर्माधिकारिता तत् अर्पितं हरौ दास्यम् इति कैश्चित् उदीर्यते. Translation: some persons say that this offering of duties by a person with weak faith in bhakti and a slight qualification for prescribed duties is called dasya. 1.2.187 द्वितीयं यथा नारदीये इह इहायस्य हरिर्दास्ये कर्मणा मनसा गिरा निखिलास्वाप्य अवस्थासु जीवन्मुक्तः उच्यते. The second type of dasyam is illustrated in the Naradiya Purana. He who has the desire to serve the Lord with actions, mind, and words in this world is called a liberated jiva in all circumstances.
Okay. Now,
Servitors,
one you have to read. No? Read it.
yeah. In the opinion of the karmis, roti workers, offering the result of karma is called servitorship. But according to Vaishnava acharyas like Rupa Goswami, servitorship means constant engagement in some kind of service to the Lord. In the Skanda Puran, it is said that those who are attached to ritualistic activities, the four orders of social life, and the four orders of spiritual life are considered devotees. But when devotees are actually engaged in offering service to the Lord directly, these must be Bhagavatas or pure devotees. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities or prescribed duties according to the four orders of social and spiritual life are not actually pure devotees. But still, because they are offering the result to the Lord, they are accepted as devotees. When one has no such desire but acts spontaneously out of love of God, such a person must be accepted as a pure devotee. The conditioned souls who have come into contact with the material world are all more or less desirous of lording it over material nature. The system of Varnashram and the prescribed duties under this system are so designated that the conditioned soul may enjoy in the material world according to his desire for sense gratification and at the same time gradually become elevated to spiritual understanding. Under these prescribed duties of Varna and Ashram, there are many activities which belong to devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Those devotees who are householders accept Vedic ritualistic performances as well as the prescribed duties of devotional service because both are meant for satisfying Krishna. When householder devotees perform some Vedic ritualistic duties, they do so to satisfy Krishna. As we have previously discussed, any activity aiming at satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami describes one who is fit for becoming engaged in devotional service. He says that persons who are neophytes and who have developed a little love of Godhead are not interested in the activities of sense gratification in proportion to their devotion. But if there is still some attraction for sense gratifying activities, then the result of such activities should be offered to Krishna. This is called engagement in the service of the Lord, with the Lord as the master and the worker as the servant. In the Naradiya Puran, there is a statement of how this servitorship is transcendental. It is said there that a person who is constantly engaged in devotional service by his body, mind, and words, or even a person who is not practically engaged but is simply desiring to be so, is considered to be liberated. Hare Krishna.
Next is in which bhava? Sakhya bhava. This comes from 188, 189, 190. Second paragraph has two, 189 and 190. Then third paragraph again has two, 191, 192, and then 193. Write down and take. 188. Second paragraph has 189, 190. Then third has 191, 192, and 193. So let's start with 188. Now, how to serve Lord in Sakhya Bhav? Dasya Visa. Now, Dasya means Samarpan now. Now, Sakhya, let us see. There are two types of Sakhya. One is trust and being friendly. To trust a person, there is Sakhya. You're friendly to a person, there is also Sakhya. So first type is the opinion of others. There is trust. And second is the opinion of the author. Hmm. Being friendly. Mitra here means friendship in general, rather than the Sakya Sthai Bhav that appears only in Bhava and Prema. Such a tendency is described in the Bhagavatam. Okay. Sthai Bhava is always Sakya. Like Arjuna, Sthai Bhava is always Sakya. Even in the Sthai Bhava, there are some who are always having friendship. One is developing friendship through our sadhana. It's like Nanda Baba, here it is given Nanda Baba, cowherd men, other inhabitants. What a fortune they have. There is no limit to their fortune because Lord became their friend, Mitra. Lord became their friend. But here one has to now serve in such a way that Lord becomes a friend. Then next is 189. Tatra Adyam Yatha Mahabharate. Pratigyaha Tava Govinda. Name Bhaktaha Pranashyati. Iti samsmrityah Pranat. Samdharayamyaham. So Lord has told, Name Bhakta Prayachati. Go on remembering this again and again. Oh Govinda, remembering again and again your promise that your devotee will never perish. I maintain my life. This is a statement of Draupadi actually. Pratigyaha Tava Govinda. You have taken this pratigya. Iti samsritya pranan samdharayamyaham. By remembering this, I am maintaining my life. Here in Mahabharata, who is telling this? Draupadi is speaking this. So Draupadi anyhow is an associate of Lord on the highest platform of Prema. This is not sadhana bhakti. But this verse, now what we are speaking, how to develop Sakya, that is through sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means practice. One is innate is there. One is one has to develop. There's a lot of difference. Sthai means it is there. One remembers it also. One is forgotten and one has to practice to get it. Yatha Ekadashi, 11.2.53. That is also there in the 190 is there in the third verse. Yeah, that is third one. Second is 189, third is 190. Yatha Ekadashi cha 11.2.53. Sri Bhuvana Vibhave Hetavepi Akuntha Smritir Ajitatma Suradibhe Vimbrugya न चलति भगवत पादारविंदः लव निमिषार्धम अपि यः स वैष्णवार वैष्णवाग्रह. Trust in the Lord. Two types are there. One is trust. Now let us see about the trust also. Trust in the Lord is also illustrated in the 11th canto. Draupadi has so much trust. That is Thai Bhav. One is having trust through sadhana. Now trust in the Lord. The lotus feet of the Lord are sought even by the greatest demigods, like Brahma and Shiva, who have all accepted Lord as a life and soul. A pure devotee of the Lord can never forget those lotus feet in any circumstances. He will not give up his shelter at the lotus feet of Lord even for a single moment. Indeed, not even for a half a moment. Even in exchange for the benediction of ruling the entire universe or taking the post of a devata. So he will never forget the lotus feet of Lord. Such a devotee of the Lord is to be considered the best of the Vaishnava. So trust so much that he will never leave Lord in any circumstances. That is known as trust. Okay. The next is 191 and 192. They are there in the fourth paragraph. Shraddha matrasya tad bhaktava adhikaritva hetuta angatvam asya vishwasa visheshasya tu keshava. The qualification of bhakti is Shraddha. First it starts with Shraddha, Adau Shraddha. If Shraddha is not there, then the person can never progress. Shraddha in one's spiritual master, it should be first from there it starts. Adau Shraddha. Person doesn't have that, he can never progress. Next is, it starts with Shraddha. This is what is given here. Then 192 says, Dvitiyam yatha agastya samhitayam paricharyah parah kechit prasadeshu chate serate manusyam iva tam drashtum vyavharatum cha bandham. Second type of friendship is given in Agastya Samhita. A person who is dedicated to serving the Lord and out of friendship sees and treats him as a human, then that is also that lies down in the temple, Lord's temple. Okay. Hmm. Now here, two types of trust we have spoken. One is trust, which is general. One is, the author says, being friendly. He has so much of, he's dedicated to Lord in such a way that he treats him like a human. Mhm. He talks to him. He lies on the temple. That much love he has, paricharya, that much love. That is why for him there is no rules and regulations because he's serving so much. Raganuga, raganugan gatasya स्याद् विधि मार्गानपेक्षतवात् मार्गद्वयेन द्वयेन चैतेन साध्या sakhya ratirmata. So last example should be classed as raganuga sadhana because of disregard to Vaidhi Bhakti. However, attraction for feeling of friendship is cultivated in both raganuga and Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti also you can cultivate sakhya bhakti. In Raganuga Bhakti, anyhow it is there. So much of spontaneous love for Krishna. So much of love for Krishna that he serves Krishna and he doesn't feel any shyness to lie in the temple also. Because he loves Krishna, he serves Krishna so much. That is why he sees Lord as a human. That is why he goes and feeds. He is always close to Lord. Simple. Okay. So Vaidhi and Sadhana, in both Sakhya Bhav can be developed. So Aditya, you only read all. Just read the verse and
Okay.
read the direct translation. Like 188, read the verse, go to Prabhupada verse.
Okay. 1.2.188 अथ सख्यं विश्वासमित्रवृत्तिश्च सख्यं द्विविधम् ईरितम् friendship verse 87 there are two types of sakhyam trust and being friendly. Sorry, I read that. Devotional service and friendship. Devotional service in friendship can be divided into two categories. The first is to act as the confidential servant of the Lord, and the other is to act as the well wisher of the Lord. The devotee who has confidence in devotional service to the Lord systematically follows the rules and regulation with the faith that he will achieve the platform of transcendental life. The second type of devotional friendship is to become a well wisher of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord accepts a preacher as the most dear servant. Anyone who is preaching the confidential message of the Gita to the people in general is so dear to Krishna that no one can be equal to him in human society. 1.2.189 तत्र आद्यं यथा महाभारते प्रतिज्ञा तव गोविन्द न मे भक्त प्रणश्यति इति संस्मृत्य प्राणान् संधार्याम्य अहम् 1.2.90 तथा एकादशे 11.2.53 च त्रिभुवन त्रिभुवन विभव हेत्वे अप्यकुण्ठा स्मृतिर् अजितात्मसुरधीभिर्विमृग्यात् न चलति भगवत् पदारविन्दान् लव निमिषार्धम् अपि यः स वैष्णवार्गृह. In the Mahabharata, Draupadi says, my dear Govinda, your promise is that your devotee can never be vanquished. I believe in that statement, and therefore, in all kinds of tribulations, I simply remember your promise, and thus I live. The purport is that Draupadi and her five husbands, the Pandavas, were put into severe tribulation by their cousin brothers Duryodhan as well as by others. The tribulations were so severe that even Bhishma Dev, who was both a lifelong brahmachari and a great warrior, would sometimes shed tears thinking of them. He was always surprised that although the Pandavas were so righteous and Draupadi was practically the goddess of fortune, and although Krishna was their friend, still they had to undergo such severe tribulations. Though their tribulations were not ordinary, Draupadi was not discouraged. He knew that because Krishna was their friend, ultimately they would be saved. A similar statement is there in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, verse 53, when Habis, the son of King Rishabha, addresses Maharaj Nimi, "My dear king, a person who never deviates for a moment." Sorry, I read ahead.
What happened?
I thought
Huh?
I read ahead. Sorry. A similar statement is there in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, verse 53, where Havis, the son of King Rishabh, addresses Maharaj Nimi, "My dear king, a person who never deviates even for a moment for engagement in service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, engagement which is sought even by great demigods like Indra, with firm conviction that there is nothing more worshipable or desirable than this, is called the first class devotee." Verse 191. श्रद्धा मात्र से तद्भक्ता अधिकारविता अधिकारतिव अधिकारित्व हेतुता अंगत्वम् अस्य विश्वास विशेषस्य तु केशव 192 द्वितीयां यथा अगस्त्य संहितायां परिचर्या पराके चेत् प्रसादेषु च शेरते मनुष्यम् इव तं द्रष्टुं व्यवहारार्थं च बन्धुवत्. Rupa Goswami says that a neophyte devotee who has simply developed a slight love of Godhead is certainly a prospective candidate for devotional service. When he becomes firmly fixed in such devotional service, that assured status becomes a confidential part of his devotional service. Sometimes it
Last.
is last,
Which one?
193. Raganuga Raganugangatasya स्यात् विधिमार्गानपेक्षत्वात् मार्गद्वयेन चैतेन साध्या सख्यरतिर्मता. Sometimes it is found that a pure devotee lies down in the temple of the Lord in order to serve him as a confidential friend. This friendly behavior of a devotee may be accepted as raganuga or spontaneous. Although, according to regulative principles, no one can lie down in the temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this spontaneous love of Godhead may be grouped under devotional service and friendship. Hare Krishna.
Like those who have that type of love, they only can do all this. That is known as Raga Anuga Bhakti. Raga Anuga. Those who have Raga, like Sri Rama, Sudama, like that Raga. Anuga means following their good times. 194, 195, second paragraph, 195, third paragraph, 196, fourth, 197, fifth is 198. So 194. So this will be the section today for the last. अथ आत्मनिवेदनं यथा एकादशी मर्त्यो यदा त्यक्तः समस्तकर्म निवेदितात्मा विचिकीर्षितो मे तदा अमृत अमृतत्वं प्रतिपद्यमानो मयात्मा भूयाय सकल्पते. So offering oneself. So person who gives all the prescribed duty, offers himself entirely unto me, becomes the object of my special desire. He is giving everything, also giving himself also. He achieves liberation from birth and death and is promoted to the status of sharing my opulence. So he has offered his body to the Lord. He gives all the activities for pleasure in his life and the next. He is everything. And in this way, Lord says, I desire to make him special. Then next is 195. Artho द्विधात्म शब्दस्य पंडितैरुपपाद्यते देहि अहंतास्पदम कैश्चित् देह कैश्चिन् महमत्वभाक्. So learners say, what is Atma Nivedanam? Atma means what? Atma refers to the soul having the identity of I, whereas others say Atma refers to the body, since it belongs to the Lord. That means giving everything, body as well as the soul. Answer. These two now, Pushpa Mataji, you read two verses and the two paragraphs. Pushpa,
Hare Krishna.
yeah.
अथ आत्मनिवेदनं यथा एकादशे मर्त्यो यदा त्यक्तात् समस्तकर्म निवेदितात्मा विचिकीर्षितो मे तदामृतात्वं प्रतिपद्यामानो मयात्मा भूयया च कल्पते वै. Offering the self illustrated in the 11th canto, a person who gives up all prescribed activities and offers himself entirely unto me becomes the object of my special desires. He achieves liberation from birth and death and is promoted to the status of sharing my own opulences. अर्थो द्विधात्मा शब्दस्य पंडितैर उपपायते देहि अहंतास्पदम कैश्चित् देह कैश्चिन् ममत्वभाक्. The learned say that Atma, mentioned in verse 194, has two meanings. Some say Atma refers to the soul, having the identity of I, while others say that Atma refers to the body, since it belongs to the soul.
Now read that first and second paragraph.
Yeah, just a moment. Surrendering everything to the Lord. Regarding complete self surrender, there is a nice description in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verse 34, where the Lord says, a person who has completely surrendered unto me and has completely given up all other activities is protected by me personally, both in this life and in the next. In other words, I wish to help him become more and more advanced in spiritual life. Such a person is to be understood as having already achieved sarsti, having equal opulences with the Supreme. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that as soon as a person surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna takes charge of him and gives him a guarantee of protection from all sinful reactions. He also instructs from within so that the devotee may very quickly make advancement towards spiritual perfection. This self surrender is called Atma Nivedana. According to different authorities, self is differently defined. Self is sometimes considered to refer to the spirit self or soul, and self is sometimes considered to refer to the mind or to the body. Full self surrender, therefore, means not only surrendering one's self as spirit soul, but also surrendering one's mind and body to the service of the Lord. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has sung a nice song in this connection. While offering himself as a fully surrendered soul, he said, my mind, my household affairs, my body, whatever is in my possession, my dear Lord, I offer to you for your service. Now you can do with them as you like. You are the supreme possessor of everything. So if you like, you can kill me, or if you like, you can give me protection. All authority belongs to you. I have nothing to claim as my own. This also I'll read.
96, 197, 198. No. 196. Tatra dehi yatha yamunacharya stotre. So Yamunacharya in his Stotra Ratnamala. Vapuradishu yopi kopi va gunato sani yatha tatha vidaha tat ayam tava pada padmayo aham adyeva maya samarpitaha. Yamunacharya is the spiritual master of Ramanacharya. So offering the soul, what is the meaning? In Stotra Ratnavali says, whoever I may be, either a soul inhabiting the body or other material elements, or a deva, or a human body made of the gunas. Today I offer that I to your lotus feet. I am so and so, I am so and so. We identify now. So I offer that I to you. Okay. Vapuradishu. Yopi Kopi. That means whatever Sarupa, everything I'm offering to you. Yatha Tatha Vida. Deho Yatha Bhakti Viveka. Chintam Kuryan na Rakshaya Rakshaya na Rakshaya Vikritasya Yatha Pashoho Tatharpayam Tatharpayan Harau Deham Viramed Asya Rakshanad. Offering the body as Atma is illustrated in Bhakti Viveka. Just as one does not worry about an animal that has been sold, one should offer this body to the Lord and be disinterested in its maintenance. So if you sell any animal to another person, you're at least bothered to know about that animal, isn't it? The same way, if you offer this body, you don't have to worry about this body. Body is also considered like an animal. Last is 198. Tushkatvena virale dve sakyatma nivedana keshamchid eva dhiranam labate sadhanarhatam. So friendship and offering the self and body are rare because of the difficulty of execution during the state of sadhana. However, some wise men have considered that these two qualify as part of sadhana. You are having friendship at the same time, you have to give everything. In one sense, it is difficult, but again, as said, it becomes very easy because it's also a part of sadhana. You have friendship also, Atmanivedanam, which Bali Maharaj has. Now, just see, Atmanivedanam here is spoken about like how Bali Maharaj has. We are not speaking about the Atmanivedanam which has been given by the gopis. Here, Atmanivedanam is by Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was like a friend also to the Lord, and he gave himself also to him. Hmm. So, in this way, Atmanivedanam here refers to giving oneself to the Lord completely as a servant of Lord. Okay. Okay, read. Now here Rukmini is also is given. Even Rukmini told that I am giving myself to you. I have chosen you as my husband. There is a lot of difference between Bali Maharaj Atmanivedanam and Rukmini's Atmanivedanam. Isn't it? Rukmini Atmanivedanam is in the Madhurya Bhava. Atmanivedanam done by Bali Maharaj is in the mood of friendship. Bhava changes there. Don't compare that both have given themselves to Lord. There is difference in their rasa tattva. Okay. Palash, will you read 3 verses? Or verses you read, Aditya? She'll read the translation. Read the verses.
Okay, ma'am. 1.2.196 तत्र देहे यथा यमुनाचार्ये स्तोत्रे वपुर आदिषु योऽपि कोऽपि वा गुणतो स्थाने यथा तथा विदः तद् अयं तव पादपद्मयोर् अहम् अद्यैव मया समर्पितः. Rajmala, you are reading the translation, right?
I'll read this. Sri Yamunacharya.
No, you read. You read the translation first.
Translation.
Yeah. It's given
Offering,
directly in the
offering the soul is illustrated in a
Wait,
sutra
wait. That we are done, na?
of Yamunacharya.
Oh, that we are
Whoever
done.
No, Mala,
Aditya, you read.
three verses, right? 196, 197, and 198.
Yeah. Wait till I close the book. Okay.
translation. Mataji, I'll read the translation, no? And then
Yeah, you
I'll
have
read.
to read the translation. But now you read, we have read from where? Ramanacharya. Yes, there only. Barabar. 196. Read.
Translation. Offering the soul is illustrated in the
Why you are
stotra of.
reading the whole thing? You just read that. Sri Yamunacharya in his prayers to the Lord.
Yes, Mataji. Sri Yamunacharya, in his prayers to the Lord, has expressed a similar idea in the following words: My dear Lord, I may be living within some body as a human being or as a demigod, but whatever mode of life, I don't mind because these bodies are simply byproducts of the three modes of material nature, and I who am I possession of these bodies am surrendering myself unto you.
Okay, now 197 read and then you read.
Yes, Mataji.
देहो यथा भक्ति विवेके चिन्तां कुर्या न रक्ष्याति विकृतस्य यथा पशुः तथार्पयन् हरो देहं विरमेत् अस्य रक्षणात्.
In the Hari Bhakti Viveka, there is a statement regarding how one can offer his body in self surrenderance. There, the devotee says, My dear Lord, as a souled animal has no need to think about his maintenance and sustenance, so because I have given up my body and soul unto you, I am no longer concerned with my maintenance and sustenance. In other words, one should not be bothered about his personal or family maintenance or sustenance. If one is actually surrendered in body and soul, he should always remember that his only concern is to be engaged in the service of the Lord.
198. दुष्करत्वेन विरले द्वे सख्यात्मनिवेदने केषाञ्चित् एव धीराणां लभते साधनार्हताम्.
Srila Rupa Goswami says that devotional service in friendship and devotional service in self surrendered are two different processes. Therefore, such relationships with the Lord can very rarely be seen. Only for the advanced devotees are these two processes easily executed. The purport is that it is very rare to see surrenderance which is mixed with sincere ecstasy, devotion. One must give himself completely to the will of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Stop here. Only one page to complete this. We'll have class on Monday. Okay? Friday is Gaur Purnima. We're requesting all to come to the temple. A celebration there. Any questions here you can ask. We are doing from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu just because to understand the verses more nicely, understand it nicely. We are not hastening to finish off our course. I can do it immediately and finish off the course in just 1 week. Just go on reading, go on reading. But if you read with the verses, you'll understand in the more better way. Because which bhava, sthai bhava, sadhana bhava, how to practice devotion, it is nectar of devotion. So that's why we are not hastening to finish the course. Only 8 lessons are there. But then if you understand this, it becomes a pillar, the foundation for devotional service. Because we are all sadhakas. And naturally we should reach that stage of Raganuga. In Vaidhi sadhana also we have to do very properly in sadhana. Then comes Raganuga Bhakti. There is Krishna's mercy. At least sadhana bhakti should be done properly. Okay? And Chakra Pradesh Kripa Sindhu Dev Chakra Pavani Vishnu Guru Vishnu Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada.